think I'm gonna call this video, I Had Sax at the Playboy headquarters, and if that's not the best video title I've ever used, I don't know what is. Hello everyone, welcome back. Last week I mentioned that the first time I was ever on a professional set was at the Playboy headquarters in Bel Air as I mimed saxophone playing with silk pajamas wide open, my hair blowing in the wind as a number of Playboy playmates and models walked by wondering what in God's name was going on. Today, I'm gonna share with you the story behind that experience and show you the video that I made from it. Now, I'm gonna be playing you my covers of other people's music today, which means I'm likely gonna see very little, if any, revenue from this video. So if you enjoy watching videos where I work with other people's music, supporting my channel on Patreon goes a long way to keep this kind of thing coming. Patreon is an online tip jar of sorts, and it makes it so people like me can bring you videos like this one. I have 3 tiers over there for you to get involved at with a number of different rewards, early access to videos, tabs to the music I make, stuff like that. If this sounds interesting to you, you can find more information at patreon.com/samuraiguitarist. I'll also put up links in the description. Anyways, let's get to it. I think for all the musician and entertainment folks out there, the takeaway from this story is how the smallest of things, just by saying yes and being at the right place at the right time, can lead to completely unforeseen and quite cool experiences. The roots of this tale are in 2015. I'd been YouTubing for maybe a year and a half and had about 20,000 subscribers, but I was putting my all into this channel. I saw YouTube as my last chance to have a career in music before I threw my hat in and became a lawyer or something. So I was really giving this my all. Fortunately for me, within the first few months of starting my YouTube channel, I had some viral-ish videos, which kicked off when I shot a video of me covering Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper entirely on iPad apps. I posted the video to Reddit and it went to the top. Now, my whole goal back then was just create these types of videos that could grow an audience, and it was going relatively well. One of the things that came with this early success was a lot of emails from what are called multi-channel networks, or MCNs, and these are basically management companies for YouTubers who would claim to grow your business, bring in sponsors, blah, blah, blah. In exchange, you would give them part of your revenue. Now, side note, I've come to believe that these companies are a total scam and will take your money for absolutely nothing while promising you the world. They seem to have mostly gone away, but if you are a YouTuber yourself, I would strongly recommend not getting involved with them. But I didn't know this in 2015, and an MCN reached out to me who was affiliated with a major TV arts-driven channel, and it seemed like a good fit, so I signed on. Fast forward a couple months, and there's this big YouTube convention that happens every year in Anaheim called VidCon, which I decided to attend. And during one of the nights, my MCN was putting on a dinner across the street at Disneyland, which I was invited to go to. A lot of people who were working for my MCN were former YouTube employees who had all gotten laid off at the same time, and they'd invited a bunch of their friends and former colleagues who were now working in other facets of the LA entertainment industry. I was seated beside a fellow who was then working for Playboy. We had quite a nice chat, and as we were saying our goodbyes, he casually mentioned that every Thursday they would order pizza for the employees and the models and just kind of chill in the communal space of the headquarters, and if I was free next time that they did this, I was welcome to swing by and he'd show me around. This was my first trip to LA. Okay, my professional musical career to this point had consisted of playing dingy bars in small town Canada, often to nobody. I was very used to being at the absolute lowest rung of the musical industry. Did I want to go and hang out at the Playboy headquarters? Well, if there was going to be free pizza involved, yes, I did. The big day comes around and I'm driving to Bel Air or Beverly Hills or wherever where they're located, and I get a call from my inside man at Playboy. I answer using a hands-free device because safety is important, and he lets me know that there's a couple of playmates who are working on a Playboy gaming channel, and in the next little while they're going to be streaming Rocket League, and he asked if I would like to join them. My first thought was, yes, I do. And I specifically remember the thought that followed that up was, I really should have showered this morning. But I agreed to it. I bought a stick of deodorant at 7-Eleven, and I went there and met the 2 ladies who were the face of Playboy Gaming, Amelia and Pam. We had really fun stream. I had a great time, and I feel like I made a decent impression and didn't smell too much because Pam and I agreed that the next time I was in town, we would collab on a bigger production video. Over the next however many months, their team and I tossed around a number of ideas before ultimately deciding that we would do you remember those infomercials for CD compilations that were like, we're selling you a 6 CD box set for the spirit of the 60s rock and roll or whatever? Well, we were gonna do a spoof on that, but for jazz video game covers. I was doing a bunch of video game covers at the time, so this was right in my wheelhouse. I recorded a bunch of short snippets of classic video game themes in a jazz style, and the big finale was gonna be a cover of the Rainbow Road theme from Mario 64 with a soaring sax part. I don't play the saxophone, so the old MIDI keyboard was quite handy for this. Next time in LA, we planned to do the shoot. I showed up at the Playboy headquarters first thing in the morning, and for the first time in my life, there is a full production crew with proper camera gear. I was so used to shooting everything on my entry-level camera with industrial lights in my parents' basement that seeing this was just so cool to me. I should also say that they didn't pay me anything to do this. I never saw any money from the experience, but there was a breakfast place that was in their building, and they made these incredible deviled eggs that they bought me as many as I could eat. So between the pizza and the deviled eggs and the experience, I was pretty content with the whole thing. We shot a bunch of clips for the video, and every outfit I wore came from the Playboy wardrobe. Fortunately, I'm not a super big guy, so it wasn't hard to find things that I fit in, but I think all of those clothes would have been used at one point or another in an actual Playboy magazine. I just had such a fun time doing this. I remember there was one scene where Pam and I were slow dancing to the Sonic theme in front of a green screen, and we had to keep serious faces as we did the shoot, which was incredibly hard. Just such a hilariously absurd experience. But the big finale, which we shot last, was the Rainbow Road theme, and they wanted to shoot it outside overlooking Beverly Hills, so we went off the set. And of course, now that we were off the closed set, there were a bunch of Playboy employees and playmates moseying around. We dug up some silk pajamas, and they asked if I felt comfortable leaving them open, exposing my bare chest to the world. I said that I wasn't sure in the long history of Playboy if a man had ever exposed himself in an official Playboy release. Oh, and by the way, they were releasing all this stuff through their social medias, not mine. But yeah, I said I was okay with it because sometimes you gotta put your reservations aside. And I don't really have a lot of reservations to begin with, but you just gotta put them aside and go for it. We set up a big fan to blow my hair and PJs around as I mimed the saxophone part. And this whole time, there were a bunch of just beautiful Playboy models hanging around, looking at me. And I can only imagine they were looking with wonder, intrigue, and possibly a little bit of horror, pondering the direction that Playboy seemed to be going in. I was originally asked not to share this video on my channel, but that whole division of Playboy that worked on this is now gone, so the only people I'll ever have to answer to are the Nintendo overlords. I love the way it turned out. I think it's hilarious. Here it is.
Now that takes me back. If you're like me, you have two loves in life, video games and smooth jazz. That's why we created 8-Bit Grooves. With original recordings by Samurai guitarist, 8-Bit Grooves is the only CD featuring smooth jazz remixes of all your favorite video game themes. Featuring over 30 of your favorite video game themes. get 8-bit grooves for the low price of $29.95. But wait, if you order in the next 15 minutes, we'll also throw in our reggae album, 8-bit Jams, all for the low price of $19.95. Call today.
The aftermath of this video is not overly exciting. The video was released on the official Playboy channels, and I think it got quite a few views on their Facebook page, but now you guys have seen it too. Pam and I have kept in touch over the years. She streams regularly on her Twitch channel, and she's a worthwhile follow on all social media, so if you want to check out any of her stuff, I'm going to put links in the description. But what I think is cool about this story is that interesting things can seemingly happen out of nowhere when you're in a place where interesting things happen. There wasn't really anything that came out of my relationship with Playboy because they restructured soon after we did this video, but I have hung out with Pam a number of times. One time I went to her and her ex-boyfriend's house, who also happens to be one of the most known YouTubers on this platform. However, I accidentally forgot my sunglasses there and never really made an effort to get them back. So if you ever see somebody from Smosh wearing Ray-Ban Wayfarers with mirror lenses, they might be mine. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, another installment in the Sammy G bedtime stories. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoy making them, if for no other reason than they're very easy and quick to make. And I'm working on some stuff for some future videos that are just completely taking over my life. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to get this one out to you guys. Thank you all for watching, and an extra big thank you to everyone who supports my channel through Patreon. Like I said, because I share with you that video that contains a number of cover songs, Patreon's gonna be my source of income for this video. So really, thank you so much to you guys. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, stay tuned for a wide range of music-related content. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.